Hey there, Vasily here from Converge.io. Converge is an MLOps platform built to actualize the AI-driven enterprise. Managing AI architecture is extremely complex, and Converge helps you do that seamlessly. We enable end-to-end machine learning and AI, starting all the way from research. We'll go over the MNIST dataset example as we go through this demo to show you all the features that Converge can provide. In research, you can create new posts where you can document links and documents that you find along the way, centralized in a single place so everyone working in the research and this project can find it. Converge also has a file system that's completely version controlled so that everything that occurs, all events and changes, are version controlled and create a commit. Those commits can be viewed directly here or through the CLI. You can also enable Git integration to pull in an existing Git repository that leverages existing assets and artifacts, so you can use that as your starting point for the file system. Converge also helps you manage workspaces. By creating new workspaces, you can specify the exact amount of compute, whether that be how many CPUs, GPUs, and how much RAM you're going to need for a particular workspace, as well as create custom templates that you can leverage, which create things like this RAID cluster or Modin cluster with multiple workers so you can do more data intensive tasks. You can select from JupyterLab, RStudio, and VS Code, or you can connect to your favorite IDE via the SDK. Here you can also specify an image. You can create your own Docker container images or choose from ones from our partners like NVIDIA and Intel, where we've already certified these against the hardware investments that they run on. Once your workspace is created, in this case, my JupyterLab workspace is up and running, you can begin to create all of your artifacts directly in the UI and then run your code while you're in active development and test it. As you're training models in development, we give you TensorBoard right off to the right here so that you can track those models as they train. Once you get past development, Converge offers the ability to actually create pipelines. Here you can select the data set that's going to be used to train your pipeline. You can specify multiple algorithms and models that are going to be trained. And then you can deploy those models using our built-in automatic deployment features. Here you can choose from stream processing on Kafka, so you can do real-time inferencing on your Kafka topics. You can do web service deployments for asynchronous, as well as batch. You just simply give it an endpoint title, specify the compute that you want to use. And this is very important because you can select GPUs for your training and then more efficient and cost-effective CPUs for your inferencing by selecting those here and specifying the image you want to use. Once you've completed your flow, it can be run automatically through the UI or through the CLI, as well as things like schedules and continual learning that can be triggered by data drift. Running it will trigger multiple experiments to kick off, and you can track those through the UI and compare their progress both while they're running and after they've completed. Ultimately, once those models are trained, the most accurate will be deployed, and that will then be served here on Converge as well. Here we see we already have an endpoint up and running, and we can immediately jump in and take a look at metrics. By logging out to Converge or using our SDK, you can actually specify what types of charts get created and customize what you see here on the charting tab. We also provide logging, as well as Grafana, Kibana integrations, and full activity. You can set continuous learning conditions that will trigger retraining and running of your existing flows, as well as look at the config so you can actually deploy new versions and stop and roll back to previous versions, which are also version controlled like everything else in Converge. Last but not least, Converge offers the ability to interact with your application visually by publishing apps in Dash or Shiny or Voila. All you have to do is specify the actual file that needs to run, the type of deployment that you like, and give it a title. Here too, you can select compute and images that are specifically tuned for the work you're trying to do. Looking back at the Applications tab, we can take a look at the one we already have deployed that goes along with the MNIST project that we've been working on. Here we use TSNE to look at the clustering of the images that we've classified and get a better idea by interacting with our data in 3 dimensions of how various changes affect the structure of the data itself. Looking at it visually makes it much more easy to see how it changes based on the parameters, the learning rates, and various aspects of our interaction. This is just one small example of the stuff you can do with Converge. Thanks for watching.